It's been an exceptional year at DK Engineering. As 2021 comes to a close, the team at DK is proud to say that this has been our strongest year ever. Despite the government lockdown, Q1 2021 proved to be our most successful quarter to date, and that quarter's momentum helped us to see continued strong sales throughout the remainder of the year. With the new generation of collectors coming of age, we've seen increased interest and demand for supercars of the 1990s and 2000s, and have handled the sale of several Porsche Carrera GTs and Ferrari F50s, both proving to be much more than flavour of the month in today's market. We have continued to sell many other blue-chip collectibles, including a pair of right-hand drive Ferrari 250 short wheelbase Berlinettas, a truly excellent 250 GT Berlinetta Tour de France, and we have also completed a couple of McLaren F1 transactions. While the first 4 months of the year got off to a quiet start in terms of events, social media beautifully bridged the gap for us. Hitting 100,000 Instagram followers earlier in the year, this is a number which has risen to 140,000 by now. All through organic growth, it has shown that both the content we produce has been engaging and informative, and the stock we hold is interesting and diverse. An excellent example of this was a series of videos we created with Carfection and Henry Catchpole with the unicorns. The McLaren F1, Mercedes-Benz CLK GTR and Porsche 911 GT1 all received a tremendous amount of attention. The user's guide videos, conceived initially as an informative piece for one of our car's overseas buyers, were also a big hit. The CLK GTR user's guide quickly became our most watched video ever, with close to 500,000 views at the time of this video. This year we commissioned long-term friend of DK, Dexter Brown, to eternalise the unicorns at Millbrook with an oil canvas in a painting for our Christmas card. In August, for Monterey Car Week, despite the absence of many European dealers and collectors for the festivities surrounding the Pebble Beach Concours d'Elegance, James and Harvey found themselves there and in the atmosphere during that week to be exuberant and similar to the years past, with lots of friends and clients to be met, new acquaintances to be made, and with slightly smaller crowds than in previous years. Boarding the plane to San Francisco, James and Harvey had been dead set on returning with the McLaren F1 from Gooding & Company, but that wasn't to be, and the car went to a new home in the US, at a market-correct price, and with DK as the immediate underbidders. Many strong results were witnessed at auction, showing that the American market is still very much alive. At the Peter Auto Endurance Racing Legends race, held at the 24 Hours of Le Mans as a support race in August, DK supported the Ferrari 550 Maranello Pro Drive, which was driven by Max Girardo for the weekend. James, meanwhile, raced the Dallara SP1, which was prepared by Pursuit. Despite a disappointing DNF resulting from a spin caused by a radiator leak whilst leading the final laps of Friday's race, James managed to clinch first place overall in the race on Saturday just before the 24 hours. The first weekend of September played host to two major concours events in the UK, Salon Privé and the Concours of Elegance at Hampton Court. The DK team was out in force at both events, with a multitude of cars on display for judging at Salon Privé, along with a stand showcasing our after-sales department. We also displayed 3 cars on the field at Hampton Court. After a 1-year hiatus, the Goodwood Revival was arguably the highlight of our year. With 4 cars on track, we were privileged to have Alex Buncombe and 2009 Formula 1 World Champion Jenson Button in our Cobra for the RAC TT celebration. Although the pair saw great pace in practice and throughout the first half of the race, they were sadly forced to retire due to a misfire caused by an electrical breakdown. Nevertheless, Jenson adored the weekend, his very first historic racing event ever, and he vowed to be back for more in years to come, and we look forward to more of the same partnership. Friday night's Sterling Moss Memorial Trophy proved to be a highly exciting race, with James and Harvey repeating their Goodwood Speed Week victory from last year with the Huffaker E-Type. Joining them in the race was also the very eye-catching Shelby Cobra Dragon Snake, a car which DK sold and oversaw the restoration of in 2020. Saturday saw more success for this DK team, with James in the Tajiro Jaguar finishing first overall in the Sussex Trophy and taking David Cottingham for a lap of honour at the end. Moving into October and into continental Europe, the first 2 weekends of October saw James and Harvey racing at the Spa 6 Hours in Belgium and then at the Estoril Classic in Portugal. Racing the Tajiro and a pair of GT40s, despite an impressive victory with the Tajiro in the Woodcote Sterling Moss Trophy for James and Harvey, the highlight of the weekend was undoubtedly Oliver Bryant and James's overall win in the Spa 6 Hours endurance race in Oliver's own GT40. At Estoril, Max Girardo and James dominated the endurance racing legend field in the Dallara, whilst Richard Cook and Harvey finished first overall to a close Max and James in second place for the 60s endurance race, both driving Cobras. The very next weekend saw a return to Goodwood for the members' meeting, highlighted by an overall victory in the Gurney Cup for Andrew Smith and James Cottingham, and again a second overall for James Cottingham in the Jaguar Tagiro in the Salvadori Cup. Finally, our last event of the season was at Silverstone at the end of October for the Motor Racing Legends Silverstone Grand Prix meeting. At that event, the RIC Pall Mall Cup was a clear highlight, the race that was invented and thought of by DK Engineering and sponsored by us. James's brother Jeremy and Harvey led the race in the early stages in our very own Huffaker E-Type. Although Max Girardo and James were plagued by a first lap spin, the pair quickly caught the field up and took the overall win in the Lister Jaguar, with Harvey and Jeremy finishing 7th overall and winning their class. 2022 is shaping up to be a thrilling year for DK again. With a much anticipated return to the normal calendar, we're looking forward to attending many of the events we have come to know and love over the years. Back at HQ, we're in the process of extending our main showroom, which will be finished early in the new year. We've built great momentum in terms of both sales and service work in the last 12 months, and we look forward to carrying that forward into the new year. We hope you've had a happy and healthy 2021 and wish you all the best in the new year. We're looking forward to seeing you again very soon.